G'day guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well this evening. I'm going to be doing a review. Now this is a Bosnian-Herzegovina film. It won the 2002 Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars, so it comes with a little bit of credibility. Released in 2001, this is spoken, majority of it is in Bosnian and Serb, but there's also a few other languages, but it's all under English subtitles, so you don't have to worry about that. Directed by Danis Tonovic, and this movie is called No Man's Land. And the story to No Man's Land is as follows. Between war and peace, humour and hate, capture and surrender, life and death lies no man's land. Set in the unforgiving trenches of the Bosnian Serb conflict, this savage satire follows the story of three soldiers caught between two fighting lines. Fleeing enemy fire, an injured Bosnian soldier named Siki retreats to a trench where he finds himself trapped with a wounded comrade and worse, his Serbian enemy. With no way to escape and with his fellow soldier lying on a spring-loaded bomb set to explode if he moves, Shiki realizes he must do the unthinkable, trust his enemy if he wants to survive. So it's set during the Bosnian-Serbia conflict in the 90s, a very brutal and barbaric conflict that is very controversial, and it centers around the main character of a Bosnian soldier named Siki. Now, Siki at the start is going on a bit of a scouting mission, and he's caught in a crossfire, him and a few other Bosnian soldiers, and quite a few of these Bosnian soldiers are killed. But a few of them, Chiki and his comrade, end up retreating in this trench. And this is what No Man's Land is. Basically, No Man's Land is this trench that is located right in the middle of the two fighting lines. So there is nowhere else to go. If they get up and leave, the opposition are going to pretty much shoot them to death. So they have to stay in this trench. Now, both of these Bosnian soldiers are injured, and Chiki's comrade is laying on a spring-loaded bomb that was set up by the Serbians. So if he moves, this bomb is going to explode and kill him. Now Siki, he doesn't want to abandon his friends, so he stays in the trench with him until he can think of something to help them. Now, matters are further complicated when two Serbian soldiers come down into the trenches and look for survivors and take some prisoners. Now, there is an event that occurs which leads to one of the Serbian soldiers being killed, and the other one is left alive, and they're basically stranded in the same trench. And this is where the world news basically catches onto this, and a lot of reporters are coming here and they're documenting what's going on inside this trench. And neither the Bosnians or the Serbians want to look like the bad ones, so they're basically saying, don't do anything, you're going to have to stay there, and we're going to have to do our best to get you out of here. So because the world media is watching them, they're forced to get along, or try to get along and trust each other. But the issue of trust is a major, major obstacle because of the hatred between Bosnians and Serbs in this very troubled time. So from there on in, it's basically a battle of wits, and it's learning to trust your worst enemies. So that's as far as I'm going to go. Synopsis. If you want to know more, please go out there and see this film for yourself. Now, my thoughts on the movie. I had hesitations coming into this one. Yes, it won the 2002 Best Foreign Language Film, which is, a big thing. But I had hesitations because I was worried that this film was going to be playing the blame game. Now, I'm not going to go into the politics of the Bosnian-Serb conflict. I'm not saying who are the bad guys and the good guys. I'm not here for that. I'm just basing what I was thinking of the film. I thought that the director, Danis Tonovic, would be painting a certain side as the evil ones, and it was going to be very black and white and no in between. Now, a lot of Hollywood films, especially the war films, every Nazi is painted the same, evil, and every ally is good, and there's no real in between, so you don't really get a realistic portrayal of war. But this film really surprised me because it stays away from the blame game, and it basically shows you humanity in war and how absurd war can be, because our judgment of people is just based on pure rage, that we generalize everyone as the bad guys because they're the ones we're fighting, and the ones we're fighting we don't put a name to. But when these three get to know each other, they start realizing that although they're the enemy, they're just human beings, and that you can like them, and if you can put aside your blind rage and your ignorance, then maybe there is a little bit more to it than meets the eye. So it really does document how silly war is in the end, and how much of a waste of time it is, because these people hate each other, but they've never met each other, and these people have never done anything bad towards each other, but it's all based on the government and what they've done and the horrors and the atrocities that have occurred. So this film, this is why it works so well. It really does document humanity, and it documents, although you might be fighting on the opposite team, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad guy. So the acting was great. The script was fantastic. I was glued to it from start to finish. I really wanted to see all three of these people get out of here, although they were on opposite sides, and although in history people are going to say that this certain person was bad and this certain person was good, but you get a sympathy for all of them, because the real horror here is war, and it shows you just how much of a waste war is. So that's the thing that really blew me away with this film, and it was much better than I thought, because it was something unique and it portrays war for what it really is. Now, the cinematography was excellent. It was a very desolate sort of landscape, war-torn, so you really got the authentic sort of war-torn feel, and also the news and the reporters, and it shows you the absurdities of reporting and how they can bend the truth to get what they want to make it sound like a better story. So also the real villain was war, and it was also the reporters, because they're sneaky little buggers who will do anything for a story. So I thought the pacing was great. It really did work. The only problem I had with this is the trailer on YouTube. I thought it was one of the most misleading trailers you could ever see. It labels it as a comedy, a straight-out comedy with the music and all that. It really does lighten it up, but it certainly isn't a light-hearted comedy. This is actually a very emotional film, and it is quite disturbing, and it'll make you feel depressed at the end of it, because there really is a lot of depth to this film, and it's so much more than just a comedy, which is what the trailer would suggest it is. Now, there is humour to it, but it's very black humour. So if you haven't got this sort of sense of humour that you can laugh at things that maybe you shouldn't laugh at, then this one is not going to appeal to you as far as comedy value is concerned. But if you want something that's going to test you out and open your eyes to a different side of war, then I am definitely going to be recommending this. I thought it was very well deserving of its best foreign language film, the 2002 Oscars. I'm going to give this 4 stars out of 5, and I am highly recommending it. Alright guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later. Bye.